So this week, we find ourselves facing the Midianites. And according to the Kabbalah and Chassidus, both Midian and Amalek are of a general nature of evil. The question is, what is the difference between Midian and Amalek? So let's think about it in practical terms. Israel came out of Egypt enthusiastic, with a high hand, and God was with them, and there were miracles abounding. And the first nation to encounter them and to attack them was Amalek. 40 years later, they're about to enter the land of Israel, and the Midianites attack them, and attack them in a very, very sneaky way, and in a very, very effective way. They break ranks, and an entire tribe of Israel is almost completely decimated. What's the difference between Amalek and Midian? And the answer is, both Amalek and Midian are symptomatic of the evil that lies within the person. The difference between the two is that Amalek cools you off as soon as you start, and Midian tries to disrupt you when you're successful. When you start, you're enthusiastic, but you're very susceptible. And so Amalek is the impurity that takes away your enthusiasm, takes away the freshness and the life of your inspiration. It attacks the core at the beginning of your growth. It is coldness to your spiritual growth, but it knows that the time in which to cool you down is at the onset, when you're very, very much ill at ease, when you're just beginning, you're an apprentice, you haven't even begun your apprenticeship as a Jew. And Amalek tells you that's not so important. What's important is your status, how much money you have, how well you get along with everybody else. If you do this, you'll be marking yourself, you'll be removing yourself from your society, people won't like you. Amalek creates doubt in the person so that the person never grows. Midian is altogether different. Midian is dissatisfaction. Why is Midian dissatisfied? Because Midian is unhappy with the success of the soul, with the success of Israel. And so how do they win? How does Midian win? Midian can't make a confrontal attack upon the whole structure of Israel. So they find the weaknesses, they find the fissures, they find the place where they can get people to argue with each other. They find the area where the person is dissatisfied. They find the area where a person can find fault with others, a fault with himself, a fault with the things that he's doing, and make the person ill at ease in that way. Because it cannot cool the person down. The person is successful and happy and has accomplished and overwhelmed everything that's come his way. And so Midian makes you uncomfortable. Midian makes you feel that the other person is getting into your face, and you have to start separating yourself from the society that you're with. Midian is strife and quibbling. The reason for that, though, is because Midian wants you to stop doing what you're doing, but knows that it can't, and so it nips at the edges. It sees where it can find a weakness. Amalek is total coldness, total confrontation. And that only works when the person is beginning something new. And so, when we begin something new, we don't have to worry about Midian, we have to worry about Amalek. When we are successful, that's when we have to worry about Midian. And in life, the same thing happens. You start a venture. The naysayers are the Amaleks. They're the ones that tell you, oh, you can't do that. You'll never succeed. This has been tried before. That's a crazy idea. You really think you're going to be successful? And then, once you're successful, then they find faults with you. Oh, this was this and this was that. This hasn't been done right. You didn't cover this base. You didn't cover that base. You still haven't dealt with the problems of dealing with the person that you think is your friend, really isn't your friend, and so on and so forth. Midian is the one that tries to destroy your successful venture after you've built it up. And so, the same thing is true as a Jew. Once a Jew has become a committed Jew, first they try to tell you, oh, you can't be like that. People won't like you. You're going to separate yourself from the rest of us. You're going to make yourself into a fanatic. People are going to think that they're weird if they have anything to do with you. You better not even try that, because people who've tried that haven't found happiness there. And once a person has started that and is successful and sees that the truth lies within the Torah and mitzvahs, then the impurity of Midian tries to get the person to quibble with his friends, and quibble with his rabbi, and quibble with certain parts of the halacha. That is the impurity of Midian that the person's got to worry about once he's gone on a particular road to happiness and to spiritual growth.